All right. Well, hopefully that email's getting sent out now. So hopefully that will, more people will start popping in. So, well, those of you figured out the right email or the right URL, thank you very much for popping in. I appreciate it. We got, today I was going to do a traditional live stream on YouTube, and I was going to show off a new project that Massimo recently released. And I asked him to come on live stream, but he's from Italy and he can type great English, but he wasn't confident enough to come on and share. So I was like, you know what? He has some great project files. I wanted to share that. But then like all this other stuff came out and I was just like, man, there's a lot of new stuff. So, I'd love to have all these individual people come on and talk, but so I'm going to be promoting a bunch of other people's stuff today and a couple of my new stuff today too. And then, and then we can field all kinds of answers and questions and all that kind of stuff too. Okay. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started here. I will try a new setup. I'm actually using my Wirecast to stream into Zoom, and I'm kind of confused how that's going to happen when I share my screen. Let's try this. Oh yeah, some people are on YouTube. Let me give them the link to the Hangout.
What's happening?
Hey, Scott's here.
I got sidetracked by some pesky client.
Oh, darn clients. Who do they think they are? You know?
What a pain in the ass. Yes.
Okay. Sweet. Now people are joining in. Let's go ahead and let me share my screen here. So if wait, I don't need to share my screen. Hold on one second. Oh, but if I don't share, then it like doesn't. See if I do like spotlight for everyone. I think that will do it. All right. Now you guys are seeing my desktop, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so for those of you just joined in, I was going to, so last week we had Chris on to share his awesome Starlight project. And like the same week, Davide released a project and Massimo released a project. So, I didn't want to and then we have Scott, who's actually here today. Maybe I can get Scott to give us a little tour of his stuff. All kinds of amazing stuff has been getting released in the past few weeks. And so I wanted today just to kind of go over a lot of what's going on, what's getting released, what's new, and kind of show it off so you guys can, see it. So I've wanted Massimo actually on the live stream for a while, but as I said earlier, he is from Italy and he's wasn't confident enough to get on and have a conversation. But I want to make sure everybody knows about his awesome stuff. And oops, why'd I go to Weaver Space Community? That was just a RWP Pro Space. So RWP Pro Space, if you haven't checked it out, this is Massimo's, and he does some just mind bending things that even I go. I'm going to be talking about his latest one today, which is Clear. I think it's Clear, right? Clean. I was close. Clean. But there's some other stuff that you just like is mind boggling. His effects pack is a suite of like Foundation 6 swatch animation effects. Amazing. Okay. His moving box pack, like I didn't even think most of the stuff he did was possible. Like that was pretty cool. Okay. Maybe if we have some time, we can jump into some of those, but those two, like pretty mind blowing. Okay. Those things. We're going to look at Clean today. And actually I love the Clean's product page is actually really awesome. Okay. or was it maybe it was the preview. Yes. Okay, so I loved what was this one? Oh, it was these. Okay, so here's clean. It's just a super clean site. Okay. I think this is a very generic looking project file that could be utilized in all kinds of ways. Okay. Now I have to admit, I haven't dived into everything yet. So as I go through this page a little bit, there's probably going to be things that I haven't seen before. I'm sure there will be. But one of the things that really stuck out for me at first is this right here. Like, that's really cool. So he has these little previews for all the various pages. And when you hover over it, it scrolls, right? And I know exactly how he's doing this, right? It's pretty slick. It's basically, taking a background image and just like changing the background position on hover, and it's just transitioning that. And it's like that. And that's super brilliant. Like this alone, like he does some extremely clever things. So definitely make sure you check out Massimo's stuff. This clean project file. I love this effect. It's perfect for what this is, because you scroll over, you want to see what this blog services page is, and it scrolls and shows you that page, right? Obviously you click it, we can go ahead and look at it. Okay. But as you see, this project file is just super clean. I don't know all the ins and outs of the features of it. I probably should have prepared. Maybe got him to send it to me so I can actually give you guys a valid tour of the actual project file. I haven't seen it myself. But yeah, clean. Check that out. It's clean. What else can you say, right, guys? I have to show you guys some of these other projects. Because we haven't really talked about Massimo stuff at all. Let's just go back and do preview. Oh, not this one. No, we want to go into other projects. Does anyone else here have the effects pack or moving box pack?
I have moving box.
Yeah. So let's look at the effects pack. I'm sorry, who's that? Okay. So there's 3 packs. So a pack 1 is click events, pack 2 is scroll events, and pack 3 is hover events. Okay. Again, all of these are based on Foundation 6 animation swatches. Okay. So here we go. If we go ahead and click on this, you'll see that it expands the images, and all that content like goes away. Like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, really awesome. There's a lot of those similar here you click on the little plus button, it's kind of similar effect, but the trigger is actually, something different, right? Instead of the whole thing, it's this little plus button. I mean, it's just really, really, really nice. There's modern. If you notice that when you clicked on it, it actually expanded out multiple, which is, pretty cool, pretty interesting. I mean, all these are pretty awesome little effects.
Joe, where can I get these effects?
So this right now we're touring RWP Pro Space. It is Massimo's. The designer behind this is called Massimo. And so, yeah, these are all, it's basically a project file that uses all the Foundation 6 swatches. Okay. And so you can like take this effect, copy and paste it into your project file and, modify it to your heart's content, right? This one's pretty cool. So this one, if you click on sign up, it swaps and then you have your form. Isn't that cool?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So go to RWP Pro Space. He also has a space on the community. So if you go to the Weaver Space community, as is all of our friends of Weaver Space, on the sidebar at the very bottom, we have friends of Weaver Space, and here's Massimo right here, RWP Pro Space. Okay. And that's where you can converse with Massimo. Guys, make sure if you haven't, when you join the Weaver Space community, you're not automatically a member of any of these friends of Weaver Space spaces. So if you want to be involved with Foundation Box or Stacks Basecamp, which is Chris here, Stacks App Stacks, which is Scott, who's here, right? So make sure you go to these and actually join the spaces, and then you can see, all the updates that they post to various projects and stuff like that. Okay, so make sure you're joining those spaces.
Joe, do you have any way to show how he's organized the swatches inside a project?
I don't have Massimo's project files, so I don't know how he organizes them. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I just know that the effects are really, really nice. Okay. Let's look at the scroll events. So here's some scroll effects in this pack. Keep scrolling up. There we go. So that's a nice little attention getter, right? So this particular section, when you scroll up, it kind of goes, hey, I'm in your face. This icon spun, the whole thing kind of came up. Pretty cool. Right, let's keep scrolling up. There's a section that's pretty nice. Not only did the color change, but the background also animated. Pretty slick. Okay, keep scrolling. Here's a nice one, right? Where winter summer collection, right? Pretty cool. There we go. That's an awesome one, right? So just move the gallery out, and there it goes. So these effects are just top-notch stuff. Here you go. We got, an iPhone and little bubbles. Boom. Very, very cool stuff. There's an great example of a pricing table animation, right? That's awesome.
Like, see, like it.
Okay. There's an interesting way of displaying a gallery. They kind of all fan out into their proper places. Let's just keep going here. Latest news. Oh, look at that. That's something else. I believe this is with the Total CMS integration as well. Pretty cool. Okay, let's go to pack 3, which is hover events, I believe. So here's some cool hover events, effects, right? So blurred, when you hover over it, you see it not blurred. Very cool. All right. Very cool. Meet your team. Excellent. Love that. I think I like this bottom row where it expands up and it rolls and goes up here. That's pretty awesome. Love that. This one's nice too, but I really love that one. That is very clever. I know exactly how we would have done it, but man, that's pretty cool. All right. Here's some interesting ones. Changing the color of your HomePod, right? Hover over the color, and you get the HomePod of that particular color. Pretty cool, right? Let's see. Have fun with colors. All the Weaver Space colors. Love it. So there we go. There's the effects pack. Really cool. I don't want to spend too much time here. I mean, I can go over a lot of his stuff, but I do want to show you the moving box pack because that one's pretty mind blowing. Let's go to preview. So these all use Foundation 6 and moving box. Okay. There are 6 different packs. I assume I don't even know. I assume when you buy it, you get all packs, I believe. I don't even know that. Yes, you do. It looks like you just buy it once and you get all. So he has them sorted into these packs, but you get them all. Okay. All right, pack 1. Show contextual content. Oh wow. All right, so here, this is a moving box that's showing multiple slides, and there each one it kind of animates out, and you get this. That's pretty cool. So you can book Venice right now. Go ahead and you click on if I want Moscow again. There's Moscow, and I can book it. Pretty cool. Same thing. These kind of contextual. So whatever one is the active one, which is going to be the far left, it will show you information over that. Very nice. Kind of similar thing. Different animations. That is pretty cool. I believe how he's accomplishing this is this particular where this text is a moving box on top of another moving box. And it's set to basically sync, right? Pretty clever. Very, very clever. Okay. And I believe he's using some pretty interesting animations tied into with foundation swatches. So he's applying swatches to these to get these interesting unique effects that aren't out of the box at all with moving box. Very interesting. All right, let's go to the next effect pack. And styles. Oh, this one has, oh, look at this. It does the colored tab. Oh, that's clever. Very, very clever. He is a very clever man. Very clever man. I love these name tabs that go to the particular slide. Very, very clever. Especially this one where at the top where the actual image bleeds through into the tabs. Very cool. Awesome. All right, well, this will be the last one, and then we'll skip on to something else here. Very nice. Even has little timers that go through.
This is a lot of shit, you know that.
Oh.
Sorry about that. I got an email.
I thought we were getting attacked again. Remember last time we did one on Zoom? That was an experience.
Yeah, let's not do that again.
Yeah, let's not do that again. So anyway, guys, check out. I'm not going to go through every single one of these, okay? But there is a lot in this pack. I think it's pretty awesome. Check it out. Massimo deserves it. He does a lot of really, really great work. Okay, so yeah. Okay, next up, really, really quick. I don't think Davide is here today, but he released a new project called Rose, which is kind of targeted. It's kind of a targeted project file that he made. You can leverage it towards other things, but you can definitely, he kind of targeted it towards weddings and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, Rose, very beautiful, well done project file. What are some of the unique things? Oops, why did Zoom go over there? Okay. I like this little feature here where, he has the RSVP kind of built in on hover here. You can kind of get information. So click on that. You can go to a gallery, which, has the slider with various, the images. But I thought this was a nice implementation here of this RSVP form. So you can hover over that section and then he did a pretty cool SVG. There's an SVG select template for Foundation, and he leveraged that to do this accept and decline, RSVP form. So pretty cool there. Okay. Just, another great project file from Davide. I believe it's just Foundation 6. It doesn't have Total CMS integrated. So this is just a simple project file for kind of a one-page wedding website. Okay. So there we go. It is a one-pager. So check that out. That's Davide at foundationbox.studio. He also has a space on Weaver Space. Okay. Now, next up, we have a completely new Stack developer. He's been around the community for quite a while. But Scott is Stacks app stacks.com. He makes stacks for Stacks app. That's it. Okay. So Scott has been a wizard of Total CMS. What's going on with my connection here? Things are going slow for me.
Is this coming in clear and crisp for everybody, or is it my bandwidth? Because it's very blurry for me.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, blurry here too.
It's blurry?
Yeah,
Okay, let me
yeah.
try something else.
Blurry.
Thank you for saying that.
Blurry.
Hold on. Let me test something else. Let me just go back to my traditional Zoom setup. And I will share my screen. Is this better for everybody?
Oh,
Much
yeah.
better. That.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, a lot
Okay,
better.
I will scrap
Much
that
better.
setup here.
Thank you.
Okay.
I thought that was my
Thank you, Jody, for saying something.
Glad I opened my mouth.
Yes.
I honestly thought it was just me.
Okay.
Me too. Me too.
Okay.
Thank you,
So-
Jody.
Well, if
Jody for the
anyone wants to
win.
see Massimo's in all their non-blurry pixelated style, please go to RWP Pro Space as well as Davide's project. Okay. So Jody, did Scott pay you that? Because I'm just starting his project file. I think he was setting you. I think he was setting us up here. I don't, Scott, what's going on here? Is this my internet connection going wonky or what?
Yeah.
Oh, there it
it's
goes.
working for me. There you go.
Oh, now that my Wirecast app quit, things are working. Okay, good. Okay. Excellent. Oh, now Zoom's deciding to move all over the place. Let me move Zoom out of the way. Okay. Hey, so stacks. So Scott has he's a clever man, and he's kind of a wizard with all things total CMS and SiteLock and VibraCart and yeah, he likes messing around with stuff. I mean, he's a tinkerer. So he had an idea. He wanted a calendar. And he's like, you know what? I think I could build a calendar with total CMS. And he did that. And not only that, but then he's like, well, maybe not everyone wants total CMS. So I'm going to create a standalone version of the calendar. Okay. And now I don't know all the features. Maybe Scott can interject a little bit here.
Yep.
But
All right. It's all done. Yep.
Okay, let's try to mute.
I'm going to relax today.
Yeah.
A friend of ours is wound up in hospital, so we went over to see
Who's that?
people.
So today's a relaxation day.
Yeah. It is for me. She's growing up with the income tax.
Found it.
Good.
Okay, excellent. Okay, found it. There we go. Okay, so Stacks Cal is a full-blown calendar. Let's go look at the preview. Where's the preview? Where's your preview, Scott?
There's no preview. Come on.
Oh, he has no demo.
I can show you.
Okay.
I can show you when I haven't done the demos yet.
Okay. So yeah, he has a standalone. Let me just give a quick synopsis. He has a standalone version of the calendar. He has a total CMS version of the calendar, which basically uses total CMS. There are some differences because total CMS can do images and a few other things. There are some feature differences between Stacks Cal and Total Cal. And SL group filter for total CMS blog. What this does is, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, this allows you to have dedicated blogs and blog lists based on a user's user group inside SiteLock. Is that correct?
Kind of. What it does is it lets you filter a total CMS blog list by the logged in users groups they belong to in SiteLock.
Okay, got it. And then blog select is pretty cool. This gives us some features that will come in total CMS too, but if you want them now, you can actually link two blogs together. It basically allows you to create relational objects between two different blogs. So let's say you're going to use the author field to link two different blog posts in two different blogs together. You can do that with this blog select stack. So next level stuff here. Scott, I know I didn't ping you beforehand. If you wanted, but are you willing to give us kind of a little, preview of some of these awesome new stacks?
Yeah, sure.
Wait, here, I'll stop sharing. Why don't you go ahead? You have another one. Oh, yeah, you have the VibraCart to total CMS connection stack as well.
Yeah. So hang on here a second. Let me clean this up.
Sorry for the noise earlier. I inadvertently turned on my microphone when I went from horizontal to vertical.
No problem. No problem. Thank you.
So yeah, right now I have 5 stacks out, a standalone calendar, that has its own built-in SQLite database. Total Cow, which uses the power of Total CMS to store all the details about your events. The group filter, which I'll show you, Blog Select, and VibraCart to Total CMS. So let's see here when I got open. So this is Stacks Cow, the standalone one. And so you get a public calendar view that also has month, week, day list view. Let me go back because there's not much in June. But so here's your events. And then if you click on one of the events, it'll take you to the event detail page, and the stacks that you need to build out your detail page is included too. So you get a calendar view, an admin side, which is a CRUD, which is lets you add an event, edit an event, delete an event, etc. So it pulls up a form, and you can edit the form or whatever and update it. Or if you want to add a new one, it gives you a blank one and you can add a new event.
Scott, can I ask you a question? When you add events or make changes to an event, is there any possibility to send emails out to anybody else who is part of this calendar? And it's a little bit like a work group function.
No, this is a standalone calendar. So, if you were going to have multiple users in your admin side and this side, it could add and edit events or whatever. I mean, you could certainly give more than one person access to this page, but it's not going to. It doesn't email or anything like that. It's just built to create events and give you a calendar view of the event, which is this view, or and like I said, you could see it in like day view or week view or list view or what have you. So like this is the day view, this is the week view, this is the list view, and then this is the month view. So you add, edit, and delete your events on your admin side with the CRUD, with this. So this lets you add, edit, and delete events, and it populates the calendar based on the start of the event, and then spans to the length of the event, and then it creates the link to your page that you're going to show your details on. And so you get all the stacks that you need to build your detail page, the calendar view, and the CRUD view. And then the Total CMS version, yeah, see, there's a lot of places, a lot of stuff on here, but so it's the same type of thing, same type of views, but all the detail now is coming out of Total CMS. So you can have galleries and genres and images and all that stuff. And now to make things a little more complicated, I'll show you this in the admin side. But so on the event admin side, this is just a regular Total CMS blog list. And if you select an event or add an event or whatever, then this select venue up here, this is actually blog select that connects another blog to this one. And so I'm connecting the venue to this event. So I have another blog called venues that I'm connecting to this event. And so it lets you go out and select your venue, right? So I'm going to put this one in my venue and save it. And that connects this event to the blog venues under the my venue, right? So if you go out on your calendar page, and it will pull up data for both of them. So this comes from the events blog. This comes from the venue blog, right? And then I even have a third one down here. This comes from the amenities blog. So you can connect them all together with blog select. Blog select not part of Total Cow, but it works with Total Cow. So like if you go to your venue, then you can select amenities from the amenities blog and add to that venue. And it's the same thing. So you get all the calendar views, but all the data comes out of Total CMS. It's really cool. Very powerful because this allows you to have things like, you know, slideshows or sponsor logos or what have you on your events. So it's super powerful way to create an event system. And then on the admin side also, like when you put it uses a regular date field for the start date and time, but then you can put the duration in either as another date, or you can put it in hours or minutes or days or whatever. So you can say, all right, this event is going to run 3 days. You can just put a 3D in here, and that means it'll last 3 days, which is really cool. So it has those abilities too. So it's a duration, not necessarily just an end date, although you can put a calendar date in there if you wish. So that's Total Cow. This is VibraCart to Total CMS Admin, and what this does is this connects. And Chris used this in his package, and it's called Starlight. And Davide used this in his project file. Called what's it called? Mercury.
Mercury.
Yeah. And so this connects VibraCart Pro to Total CMS. And so right now, let's see what I don't know if these are all connected. So these are all theoretically items, right? Items that you can buy. And this is coming right out of Total CMS, right? And there's related products, and you know, which is, you know, just a filter. And then this allows you to put it, I got it marked out of stock, so I won't do it, but this allows you to put it in the cart, right? On the admin side of things, I don't have any. If you were to add a new product or pull, I'll just pull one that's already there. Add a product. So if I changed something, and this is VibraCart side of things, right? This is the VibraCart that has, you know, the digital downloads, and this controls the cart itself. But if I were to go in here in VibraCart and change the price of this from $3.50 to $4, or not $34, but $4, and save that, then what my stack does is it transfers this data to Total CMS, because now you can see the price in Total CMS is $4. And then Total CMS holds all the details for that for that item. So what VibraCart is just a cart system. So it has very limited abilities to hold, you know, a big description or product images or galleries or anything like that. It's basically a basic cart system that lets you put things in a cart and check out with Pay Power Strike and do digital downloads and things like that. So what my stack does then is connect that to Total CMS so that you can put in all the project details that you want to use and different product images and all that stuff for a full-fledged store, you know. And my store is actually using this is Mercury from Davide. And so, you know, if you select one of my products in the store, this is VibraCart. You can add it to the cart. It goes into VibraCart, and this is the VibraCart part, right? But and see, there's just a little description area and the price and what have you in VibraCart. But in Total CMS, you get all this other info, right? So you got room for a description, and you can have images and all the stuff to create a full-fledged store versus just a cart system. And then the other thing I can show you in VibraCart is I have a My Account page, right? And so this is using the site lock filter stacks, right? So this is using this. And so if you go to your account and you purchase something, it'll ask you the site lock password will pop up on here. It'll ask you to log in, and then it'll tell you everything you purchased, right? And this is coming from a blog, right? And it'll tell you everything you purchased, and then also let you, you know, see your receipts and stuff like that. And that uses that filter stack, so that only the person logged in, they see their stuff, right? Nobody else's, which is pretty cool. You can even download it again or whatever. But that's the practical use of that. One practical use of the ViberCart, the SL group filter for total CMS blog. So it's only showing the blog list for that person that's logged in, and that blog list is just holding their purchases, and that's all basically automatic. So the blog list itself only has the items in it. So I don't have admin. I'm trying to see if I don't have admin open anywhere, but all the blog list is a list of my products, and then a field that holds the site lock group, right? That person would belong to, and then it filters it accordingly.
Cool.
So that's kind of a practical use for that. But you did by the same thing. Somebody I think asked a question on the forum the other day of whether they were looking for some way to filter a blog by a site lock group, and that's exactly what this does. And so I showed you blog select, that hooks the blogs together. ViberCart VCP2 to total CMS hooks ViberCart into total CMS. Total Cow is an event calendar that uses total CMS, and Stacks Cow is a standalone event calendar with its own cred. So those are what I have out so far.
Very cool. Love it.
To come.
Anyone have any questions? Now, if you guys haven't checked out last week's live stream on Starlight and one, I think last month or so on Mercury, you can kind of see those project files that leverage that ViberCart stack that Scott made, because both of those leverage that, so you can, have your shopping cart along with total CMS. So cool stuff, Scott. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. And guys, got any questions for Scott? Make sure you check out Stacks App Stacks or Stacks. Yeah, Stacks App Stacks. I said that right. On the Weaver Space community. Okay. They remember down in the Friends of Weaver Space area. Go ahead and join all those spaces down there. Okay. So now I will show you guys some of my goodies that I have coming or just shipped and coming. Okay. And yeah, feel free to inject if you have any questions. And yeah, so I did ship Drift since doing the Drift live stream. Not much has changed there though. Okay. I did ship Slot Machine. So let's go ahead and I'll give you a quick preview of Slot Machine 4. Actually, I just sent out an email today, right before this live stream.
Yeah. And then he said, oh,
Slot Machine.
yeah. And he said, oh, well, a friend, he goes, how do you know? They start talking.
Mari, bad girl. Mute yourself. I recognized your voice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on the wrong. Hold on 1 second. I was developing. I'm on the wrong developer branch. 1 second. Don't look at all these cool things that are coming. Okay. Don't get to see that stuff yet. All right. There we go. Let's all right, Slot Machine. Oh, I want Slot Machine 4, darn it. There it is. Okay. So Slot Machine 4. First upgrade, as I said, it's the first upgrade to Slot Machine in 10 years. Okay. And it's a pretty cool one. So if you guys aren't familiar with what Slot Machine does, here, let's just go to the quick demo really quick. And Zoom windows are one of the world's most annoying things. All right, there we go. It has a fancy new icon, and if that should be the selling point right there. It's got a new icon because everybody loves a new icon. Okay. Okay. So Slot Machine. If in this particular example, you'll see in the edit file, I have multiple potential things. So here I have a 3-column with 3 different slot machines. And each slot machine has 4 different images that it could potentially display. Okay. And basically what it will do is on page load, it'll randomly select one of these and display them. Okay. Now during the Hangout last week, I got 3 stars on the first page load. And so I didn't win a thing, but it was cool. Okay. So, but why is this good, right? Why would you want something like this? Well, this is interesting because it allows you to randomly add different content to your pages. Like a lot of times, if you go to a website and it's just the same thing all the time, right? By adding slot machine, it gives you some variety. Now here I'm just displaying images, but it could be you want to display a random customer testimonial, or you can, actually you could do completely different layouts if you want. Randomly pick one of these two column layouts that I have, right, and display it. So you can add whatever you want into slot machine. Again, here I'm just putting an image, but you can have as much content as you want. Okay. So yeah, it allows you to add some variety. It makes people more interested in your web pages because they're going to see something different next time they reload the page. It's going to add, oh, hey, I didn't see that before. What's going on? Right. So it's a big thing. Okay. Next one is randomize. So the randomize stack, it can as you see, I have a grid of numbers. Again, this can randomize anything. Okay. Here I just have a grid of numbers with some colors to add a little bit of interest at least. And on page load, by default, if we look inside edit mode here, over here, it's just a grid that are in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So here, but here on page load, they're not in order. It's because randomized it. But we also have the ability to randomize via a button click. So you can click on a button, a link, or an image, whatever you want. You can click on anything. It's just a class that you can add to whatever you want. And whenever you click on that, it will randomize your content. Now, this doesn't add or remove content from the page. It just purely reorders the content that is already there. Okay. And what's interesting is inside the randomized stack, I've built in all kinds of integrations with existing things that you might want. Okay. And I'm sure this list will grow over time as people request more things. Okay. But like a total CMS blog list. Now, a total CMS blog list already has randomized built into that, but it will only randomize once, right? What's kind of cool is with this button click, you can actually randomize dynamically on the page. So the user can randomize a blog list anytime they want, right? Which is pretty cool. So you can have, CMS galleries, a video wall, horizon cards, and then, various foundation columns and grids and all kinds of stuff. Tables. So if you want to randomize items in a table, if you have a table stack or a markdown table and you want to randomize that, you can use table body, right? So yeah, there's really cool use case for this. I think it's a useful stack. Next one is random image. Now this one is probably maybe a intermediate level. Okay, let's call it that. So I have a folder on my server. Okay, here, just to prove it to you. Let's go ahead and I will go on to my server. I think this one's using my sandbox. Yes, it is. All right, and we'll go to slot machine. So this is a folder on my server that has 4 images in it. Okay. You can have as many as you want. I just have 4. I was just testing there. And what you do is you put the URL to one of those images. Okay. And if you see the image here in edit mode, it proves that you've done it right. So pat yourself on the back. Once you get a valid URL to the image, and this has to be on the same domain that you're publishing to. Okay. So you put in the URL to the image, and a random image will magically find that folder on your server. Okay. And when it does, it'll randomly display an image from that stack or from that folder. Now, in this layout, I have the same folder configured in all 3. And what random image does is it's intelligent. It knows that it will never pick the same image twice. Okay. Unless you, I go over this in the videos, I have 4 images in that folder. If I were to put 6 images here, it has to repeat 2 images at least because there aren't enough, right? But there we go. Another interesting feature that's an upgrade from the last version is you can also process the images in order. So in alphabetical order, not just shuffling. Okay, so if we look at these, if I were to do these in order, it would always be in order. It would always display downtown first, then Golden Gate, then Painted Ladies, then Palace of Fine Arts. And if you guys are wondering, this is Painted Ladies. It's not something risque. San Francisco. These houses are called the Painted Ladies. Okay, so it has nothing to do with Brazilian Carnival or anything like that. Okay. The last stack is a new stack in the set. Okay, and this is called Particle Generator. And I will be the first to admit that this is the use case for this is, I didn't know exactly what the use case was when I implemented it. And I was like, what are we going to use this for? It's a cool idea. And so I have a few different, very interesting use cases here. Okay. So what Particle Generator does here, let's show you in edit mode really quick. Okay. Here I have a demo where all I have inside the Particle Generator is a header. Okay. And I tell the Particle Generator, generate 5 of these, Mr. Particle Generator. And what I do is we supply the Particle Generator data. So here I gave it a CSV, a common delimited list of names. I gave it a macro title of name, and then I can inject that inside of here. And when we look at that on the web page, here's the example. It created 5 headers that say hello, and the Particle Generator took the list from the names and basically injected it into there. Pretty cool, right? Okay. So again, it just randomly generates the number of things that we want based on the data that we give it. And yeah, now this is a very simple example. Okay. But here's a pretty interesting one. So here I told Particle Generator, I'm not going to go all into all the details. I have a video on this if you want to check out the details. But essentially, the Particle Generator here is creating 50 different boxes. It's doing this because I'm passing it 2 different Particle Generator data, one with size, one with size options, and one with color options. And those are ultimately getting added to the class field in the box. And Particle Generator is creating 50 of these. And they're all different sizes, all different colors. Pretty cool, right? Now you might be thinking, oh yeah, that's cool, but how am I going to use that, Joe? Right? Well, this implementation is actually the original inspiration for Particle Generator because, as you know, I recently released Drift. And I wanted to create some animations where Drift animated a lot of stuff. Okay. So if we click on this button, it's using Drift here. Oh no, what happened? Uh-oh, the demo on my webpage is broken. That's too sad. Do I have that demo here? Oh, well, it's here. I'll have to fix the one on my webpage, right? So there we go. It animated all, I think here actually in this demo file, I think I have like 100 of them, something like that. What am I doing? 250 squares, okay? So here I created 250 squares. And when I click this button, boom, it just animates them all over the place, right? So that is a valid use case, right? Imagine you have, I don't know, snowflakes or little things that you want to like little confetti things. You want to animate them. You want to generate a ton of them, right? You can do that with Particle Generator, okay? And then animate them all with Drift. Pretty crazy. I have to remember to fix that. That's too bad. Wonder why. Okay. The next thing is prototyping. Okay, so let's say you're building a website and you just want to create a grid, like a large grid of data. And you didn't want to go ahead and create something like this. This would take you quite a while, right? Each one would have to have an image. You'd have to type in a name and here's the position, right? That's super easy with Particle Generator. And this is an old version of this project file. It doesn't, oh no, here it is, right here. So here is the prototype. So here I have a block grid. And then inside here I say generate 50 of these grids. And then inside the block grid cell, I have the card with the picture and all the data. And I'm passing it a name, position, and URL and image names. Okay. And yeah, there you go. It's just creating 50 of those. To do something like that manually would take forever. Okay. But in just, the time it would take you to probably make 2 of these, you can make 50 of them. Or infinite number of them. So that's Particle Generator. Okay, and that is the last stack in the new Slot Machine 4 update. So any questions on Slot Machine?
Yes, I use it on a Foundation 1 project, which I'm not going to upgrade to Foundation 6. It can sit as is.
Mhm.
Just want to be sure that there's no interruption. I use it to display the randomized image with the folder on the server with
Yep.
8 images. So anything I need to do to check to make sure it's going to be okay?
So this upgrade, it's like a new stack. Okay, so if you look in when you upgrade, you'll still have random image from version 3, and then you'll have a new random image stack. So your existing website will work perfectly fine. If you wanted to upgrade with some of the new features of random image, you could do that, and it will work perfectly fine in Foundation and any other theme.
So all I would do is, instead of the random image version 3.1 stack, I would throw in a new random image stack pointed to the same folder with the same single image that would then shuffle through and display random.
Correct. Exactly correct. So you would just, you would simply drag it over there and then copy the URL and there are a bunch of new settings here that you can leverage, or just keep the default ones. But yeah, so just copy your URL, put it into here, update your alt text. And if you had any links, add the link as well.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
So the random image is not a Foundation 6.
No, it is not. No, none of the slot machines require Foundation 6. They all work in everything.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. All of my stacks outside of the Foundation stacks will work in any theme. Okay. Actually, here I added that as a feature because everybody asks the question, right? It says works in any theme. So any product I ship from now on, I'll probably have to put this as the #1 feature, because everybody asked, do I have to have Foundation 6? No, you don't. So yeah, all of my stacks will work in any theme. Normally, if I ship a stack that requires Foundation, it'll probably have Foundation in the name. Like I have the Foundation 6 swatch pack. Obviously those swatches, work with Foundation 6. So that's why they're branded as Foundation. But great questions. Any other questions on slot machine? Nope. All right, let's move on to something else cool. Something that I am going to be shipping this week. Okay. And Liftoff version 2. Okay. So Liftoff has been around for 11 years, I believe. I think it's been 11 years. And one of the drawbacks of Liftoff was that it wasn't responsive, why did it take me so long? Well, first I'll say Liftoff 2, I started work on it like 5 or 6 years ago, and for some reason, I never shipped it. So I decided right now I have a lot of stacks in that Elm where I have about 80% finished or 90% done. And I, for some reason, never finished releasing it because I was probably working on Total CMS or Foundation, right? So Slot Machine 4 was one of those. Liftoff is the next one. So I'm going to be releasing a bunch of stacks in quick succession in the next, month or two, because I just want to get all these stacks out in your hands, because it's unfair that I have all this awesome stuff and you guys can't use it. Okay. I'm tired of saying, oh, I have a solution, but I haven't shipped it yet. I'm sorry. Right. So I want to get all those out the door to you guys, and Liftoff 2 is one of them. So Liftoff, if you don't know, it allows you to have these cool flip clocks. Okay. So this is a countdown timer to June 30th. Okay. But you can do a lot more than just the traditional flip clock. So you can do, this daily timer. You can also do a 12-hour clock. So it just tells you, this purely just tells you the current time, right? So right now it's 12:32 in the afternoon for me. So that's what it's showing here. Okay. You can also do a 24-hour clock. You can also do just a generic timer. Okay. So, here is, oops, let's just do I didn't preview switch. There it goes. So here's just a timer that starts at 100 and it goes down to 1. Okay. And every time you go on the page, it's just what it is. Now, why is that useful? Why would I want a countdown timer? You can also do a count up timer as well. And essentially after completion, after the time is finished, You can do all kinds of different actions. You can you can just hide the clock. You can reveal new content. Okay. And you can redirect it to a new page, refresh the existing page, things of that nature. So there's all kinds of actions that you can do after the timer countdown has finished. Okay. You can also do various increments. So if I want to increment by 5 every second, you can do that as well. Right. And if you want to, do it every 3 seconds, do that too. So there's a lot of customizability here. Now you can also set a time zone, because we want to make sure that, let's say you're doing a product launch, or you want to launch something at a specific time, and it has to be the same exact time no matter where you are in the world. So right now you set the time zone. And if you guys were to visit this is just locally, obviously, your hours would be different, or would be the same exact as mine, because no matter where you are, it's always going to be 29 days, 4 hours, and 26 minutes away. Okay. So we hard code the time zone so that we can make sure that when this thing launches and unveils the content, it does so at the same exact time across the entire world, no matter what time zone you're at. Now, by default, you can create your own, manual date. Okay. But you can also integrate with Total CMS. Oops. And obviously Total CMS doesn't work in preview. I tested it on publish, but I didn't in preview. Bad me. Oh, I know why. There isn't a Total CMS stack on the page. But you can integrate with Total CMS. Then you can do some interesting things like, so the reason I added this feature I thought was interesting is because on the Liftoff demo page, the current version of Liftoff, you have to supply it with a particular day. And whenever that date comes, Liftoff just displays zeros if there's nothing to display. And I'm like, well, I needed something dynamic. So I thought this would be an interesting feature where you can always do like the next day. So the next weekday, so you can always do a countdown to like the next Thursday or the next Wednesday or next Saturday. So if I wanted a countdown timer for this live stream, I could set it up to be next Wednesday at 11:30, right? So that, at 11:30, this would then unveil some content. So pretty cool there. Then you could do, as well as next weekday, you could do next day of the month. So you could always do like, let's say, always do a countdown timer to the 5th of the month, let's say. Okay, you can do that. You can also do a next day of the year. So if you want to do a timer to next Christmas, okay, there you go. Okay. And then obviously there's a lot of baked in styles. So you can style this thing all you want. So you can customize the background colors, the colors of the numbers, and then the colors of the labels and the dots. You have a lot of flexibility there. Okay. Then at the bottom here, I have advanced CSS reference. Those are all for those people that love to style things with swatches and CSS. I give these just as a quick cheat sheet, so you can then copy this class or this selector and then style this with Foundation 6. Okay, pretty cool. Any questions on Quick Flip?
Well, show us the responsiveness, Joe.
Oh yeah, so the responsiveness, I allow you to provide different sizes as well for the labels, as well as the numbers here. Okay, and you can do it at small, medium, large, and extra large. Okay, sizes. So if we look here, let's go to the so as I go down, it just kind of morphs to that. So it works pretty well. At any point. So yeah.
Joe?
Yes, sir.
Joe? Seconds, minutes, hours, and days, but is there possibility to choose the weeks or the months?
That's not a feature right now. I don't know if that would be possible.
Not now.
Yeah, not right now. Yeah, as of launch, it'll be days, hours, minutes, and seconds.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
I'll look at adding years and months. I could see that. Excellent. Any other questions? No? Cool. I will show you. Let me show you something really cool. This is just for fun. I was working on there's a new icon for liftoff. And let me just show you really quick. Where is it? It's not showing up here. Oh, it's probably because I'm on wrong developer branch. Oops, wrong one. Nope. And that failed. Not stash. Close. Sorry, everybody. All right, now I can go here. Now I can open it. Should be able to. File, open recent. And it's, oh, there it is. Jeez. There we go.
Ooh.
It's a fun new icon for liftoff. Pretty cool. So okay, I have to show you how I kind of built. Oh, I just noticed this is kind of funky. Oh, it was selected. Interesting. This isn't really related to. I'm sorry?
You took the logo off.
No, it's still there. The Weaver Space logo is down here. Yeah, and then you can barely see. I might make it more visible. There was actually one kind of. It was the illusion that it was the overlapped on here. Yeah. But then here I am in the window. Pretty fun. So when I was creating that, that background. Okay, so I had this image. I got this off some stock, Adobe stock, but I wanted to remove this space shuttle and inject the liftoff rocket instead. And let me just show you what the app I used. I've had this app for a long time, and but it just works really, really well. It's called Touch Retouch. And let's go ahead and I'll show you how easy it was to get rid of that. All right, so they have this tool called Object Removal. Okay. And so what you do is you just kind of go do 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 that. Oh, let's go like that. And then here, let's just increase the size so I can just go. I'm going to remove all of this. All right. So I want to remove all of that. And all you have to do is click go. And voila. How crazy is that?
That's the same way Pixelmator works, though?
Oh, does Pixelmator have an object removal tool?
Well, it's the same thing. You just highlight that. I think it's in red instead of green, and you just swab over whatever you want to remove, and bingo bango.
Oh, interesting. Funny enough, I created this. I didn't know Pixelmator had that feature. I actually created this that entire banner in Pixelmator. I would have used that, but cool. But yeah, this is on setup. If you're a setup user, yeah, this works super well. It also has an iOS app. It works pretty well. So I have one more thing. And you know what? If you guys join the Hangout this Friday, I have another thing that is super top secret. That's pretty flipping cool. Scott thinks it's the next best thing. Yeah, it's going to change a lot of people's worlds. So join us on Friday and you get a sneak peek of that. Okay. So cool. Hey, while we're here, any open questions about anything I showed today or anything in general? I'm happy to stay on for a little bit longer and help you guys out.
I saw you sent out an update to SEO Helper as well today.
Yes. So yeah, SEO Helper, I added this week I added a couple of new things. So it was in local business, in the structured data for local business, I added the ability to do what was it? They're basically the radius. So you can do so you can define where your local business is and your area served. That's the thing I was talking about, area served. So you can supply where like the center via GPS coordinates, the center of your location. And let's say you go, for some reason, you have to define meters. I know that a lot of us are, miles, but yeah, you have to define the distance in meters. And it'll, that's basically how, Yelp or Google, they look at that stuff to say, this company services this area, right? So that kind of defines that in the structured data. So that's pretty cool. Then the next one I overhauled yesterday was the product structured data. And I added a lot of stuff to that one, actually. I added, so if you're doing a sale on a product, you could provide a date related to the product. So you could say, I have this price and it's valid until a particular date. Okay. So that Google knows when to expire. Now, this feature was requested because when people were validating their product structured data before, here, I guess I should show this, right? But while they were validating their product data before, Google was giving them a warning saying, you're not supplying the price valid until structured data, and we recommended that you use it. However, you shouldn't use it unless your price actually has a valid end date, right? Does that make sense? So I know people are all worried because Google's giving you a warning, but it is just a warning, and it's a warning because they recommend you use it. It's one of their recommended fields, but it's not a required field. Let me show you what that is really quick. Let's go to product. Where's product? Here it is. So under product, it's hidden by default. So you do temporary price, and then you give the valid until. Okay, so yeah, you don't want to set this unless it really is a temporary price, no matter if Google's giving you warnings. Okay, I know people flip out when they see warnings. It's okay. It's just a warning. Warning isn't an error. Okay. So yeah, so that's a big one. URL. So if you want to give a specific URL to this particular product or offer, if it's a temporary price, maybe this is like a Black Friday page, sale page, or something like that. Else it could just be your normal product page. Okay. I also added availability. So you could do in stock, online only, pre-order, pre-sale, all that sort of availability. Condition, whether or not it's new, damaged, refurbished, so on and so forth. And then the last one here is add custom offer attributes. Now, when you check this, I give you some sample, and really the data that I wanted to add here, but is the shipping duration, shipping details. There's so much to shipping details in the JSON that creating settings to manage it all would be impossible to make it flexible enough. I mean, you could do all kinds of different things. Okay, so the next best thing is allow you to create this and paste it in here. Maybe eventually I'll try to come up with something. No one actually ever requested this feature. I just figured someone is eventually going to want it. So at least for now, we'll give this ability so you can actually create your own shipping details JSON and add it here. Okay. Now you can add whatever else, and this adds it within the offer. And that's different than this one because this, whatever you add into here goes inside the offer. So if you look here, there's offers, then we have, all the data for that particular offer. Any JSON that you add here will go into the product. Okay, not necessarily the offer. So that's kind of where the difference is there. So yeah, I know I kind of got way down into the weeds really quick on that one, and it's, some advanced stuff, but I want to make sure you guys knew this temporary price. You should really only use it if it really is a temporary price. Okay. And no matter if Google's giving you errors or not. So yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, David.
Yeah, on Friday, I might have to ask you to have a look at something, because I've had SEO Helper for a while, but only started playing with it last week.
Mm-hmm.
I did actually break my website with it.
Oh, really? Okay,
I
so
took it
one of
off.
the biggest pitfalls of that people just starting with SEO Helper do, okay, is so when you add SEO Helper to the page, now let me go ahead and remove it. So when you add it to the page, you get SEO basics, okay, and then what people will do is they'll go ahead and say, oh, well, I want Twitter, and then I want Facebook, okay, and then I want, you know, whatever else, okay.
I didn't do any of that. I built the bit with all the web page. Every page is full addressing. I've done that bit, and I did play around with the business bit a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not too worried about Twitter or Facebook at the moment.
Okay. But what I was going to say is, if you have SEO basics and then you add Twitter and Open Graph, especially Facebook, actually Twitter, none of the Twitter stuff is actually here by default. If you notice here, the basics already has the Facebook stuff in there. Okay. So if you wanted to, now if you add the Facebook stack, it actually gives you more detailed stuff, like that are more like edge case things. Like if you wanted a video URL or audio URL and stuff like that, right? Essentially, if you start adding individual stacks like the Facebook, you should remove the SEO basics. Okay. So if you want, basically you can replicate all this. So first you'll notice that SEO basics has robots. So what we would want to do is we would want to add robots, and then you'd want to add page description, because that's in that basics. And then if you wanted the canonical URL, so we can go ahead and add canonical URL. Now that I have all three of these, I can then go ahead and delete the basics. Okay. Now this is a little bit more work, but it gives you fine-grained detail, because in the SEO basics, for example, I would type my description here, and it would put that description in the description meta tag, as well as the Facebook Open Graph description. So it would kind of help you out and, you know, leverage the same data for multiple things. But now that we're managing everything individually, you would need to put the description here as well as in Facebook, right? So it's a little bit more work, but it does give you more fine-grained control. Oh, another thing I did is in the robots, I added a bunch of stuff to robots, okay, this week. So you can actually define custom rules for various Google services if you want, right? And there's also things here to customize how Google can display your search results. So like if you never want Google to cache this page, okay, you never want it to cache the search results, you can say no cache, and Google will never archive this page. Okay. There's also things for some reason, if you don't want text snippets, I'm not sure why you wouldn't want Google to have, you know, display a text snippet for a page, but you can do that too. Then there's various other things, right? So if you don't want it to index images, if you don't want Google to automatically put a site search for you on Google, you can do that too. So these are very edge case things. But yeah, these are interesting things that you can add either for all robots or specifically for Google. Now, if you wanted, you can actually have multiple robots files. So you can have a generic one for, you know, let's say index and follow. And then if you wanted, you can then do a specific one for Google that says Google don't cache, right? So you can have a specific one for Google or Google News or Google Images or Google AdSense. You know, so it is.
Will that no cache override the PWA?
This has nothing to do with browsers. This has everything to do with Google caching your results on their servers.
Right.
This has nothing to do with PWA or caching on the browser. This has everything to do with the robot. These are instructions to the robot, which in this case could be Google or Bing or you know, whatever other search engine.
Just one other thing. So the Google console where I've set up everything before, do I need to wipe that?
Do you need to write that? I don't know what you mean.
Why get rid of it?
No, you definitely need, you should have Search Console set up. Okay. Yeah. And I have that. I have a whole video on that on SEO tips for, I think it was SEO tips for 2019. I think it was. All of that is still 100% valid. So you're going to want to have your site in search index. That's good because Google will tell you any errors that it found on your website when it's trying to crawl your website. So Search Console is very valuable. Okay.
Thank you.
And yeah, you're going to want to submit your sitemaps to Search Console.
Yeah. Well, I'm only going to do it, set this up on my one, and the new one that I've just about done. I'm not going to worry about the one that's got only 400 pages and all that at the moment, because that's really working well on there.
Okay.
So do you have to have a part of this? I've watched some of the videos. I just thought I'd ask, do you have to have parts of the SEO on every page?
Yes. So you do need to have SEO helper on every page if you want, your meta tags and all that stuff. Yes.
And that can be in site styles.
Yes, it can be. But do you really want to have the same exact meta tags on every page? So now you can't have SEO helper twice. There are some meta tags you might want to have on every page, and those can be added into site styles. However, things like page description and stuff like that really should be specific to each page. So those shouldn't be inside of a partial. Okay. There's a lot of debate in the SEO world, even for structured data, like where do you put the business structure data? Do you have it on every page? Do you have it just on the home page? I don't have any definitive answers for that for you. Nobody really knows, right? Google doesn't tell anybody.
To build a separate project file now, rather than trying to build it on there, and I'm building each bit out for each page, ready to just
and then plop it in. That's an interesting concept. Yeah, that's an interesting way to work it. I haven't even thought about anyone doing that. That's an interesting idea. Replicate your project file in the same page structure, and then build out all the SEO stuff, and then you can kind of move it over.
I've got one file which I've got lots of examples that you've done and other people have done, and I can just take it and use it in a project.
Very clever. I like it. Good job. Cool. Anyone else have any questions about anything? No?
Total CMS 2.
Yes. Oh, I saw Matthias. Hope me working on all these stacks doesn't hinder Total CMS 2 progress. So I agree with that. And it's something I do want it. My goal is still to have a beta of Total CMS 2 to show off at the conference this year. Okay. So I am keeping that in mind. But I do also have to keep these lights on. So there's that too.
Real soon now.
Yeah.
Real soon now. Okay.
Okay. I have a question. Can I have multiple metadata fields in Total CMS? I need 7 customizable fields, but can only get 4 different fields. Is it possible to add more? I'm assuming you're talking about in a blog, you want to have more fields in the blog, and that is not possible right now, Sean. It will be possible in Total CMS 2. That is one of the big features of Total CMS 2 coming up. Okay. But as of right now, in the last major version of Total CMS, I did add like 4 fields, and I will not be adding more fields to blog at this point. So that's where Scott's cool stack that we showed today, that Total CMS blog select, right? That would allow you to extend a blog a little bit farther. So if you really, really, really need, that does add a little bit, some complicated steps, but that's right now the only way to accomplish it. Okay. Else you can wait for Total CMS 2. Does that make sense, Sean?
Yes, thank you very much.
Cool. I know you were hoping the answer would be like, yes, you could just do this, but you can't.
Everyone else's answers are always immediate and yes, do this. I knew it wouldn't be like that with me.
Nice.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Cool. Anything else?
Yeah, actually, I have a question. It might be too big at this moment, but
Sure.
What is going on with Rapid Weaver? Because I have a client who I taught how to manage her site a while ago. She's got notifications about updating to the newest version. I understand there's a big, conflict about stacks, I think, and so on.
Yep. So I'm not sure what version she got notified about. I mean, there hasn't been any big updates for a while. But Okay, so RWP Weaver 8 and Stacks 4 work great together. Now, I should say that what I'm about to say is still all up in the air. And I know I've talked about this on previous live streams, and there's posts on the Weaver Space community about it as well. Okay, and I've sent out emails about it. But let me give you the 30-second version. As of right now, RWP 9 is shipping with a competing technology to Stacks called Elements. Okay, that might change. Who knows? No, nobody has RWP 9, so we don't know. Now, because of that, Stacks has decided, as of right now, to create Stacks app. So Stacks 5 will be a standalone application. There is no question that is happening. It's under development. I've seen it actually functional and working. Okay. I don't have anything I can share with you yet. Hopefully soon-ish. Okay. But as of right now, I've seen it. It works. And guess what? It looks exactly like Stacks, the plugin. You would open Stacks 5 and it would be very familiar to everybody. Okay. But Stacks, as of right now, will not support RWP 9. Okay. So when that day comes, we don't know when that happens. Stacks app will move to a standalone application. And all of my stacks will work with Stacks app. Every stack that you currently own, everything that you have will continue to work and function inside Stacks app. And also, RWP 8 and Stacks 4, they will continue to work for many years to come. Okay. I know, like, for example, RWP 7 and RWP 6 actually still works. I think RWP 6, I haven't launched 6 in a while. I've launched 7 quite a bit, but 7 still works great, right? So there's no reason to think that RWP 8 with Stacks 4 won't work for a very long time, so that we can continue using that with our current setups for a very long time. Okay. And so does that kind of answer some of your questions, Mari?
Yeah. I don't really know where she exactly, I think she saw this comment or the beginning of this conversation in the Rapid Weaver forum, not yours. And
yeah.
it came at a time when she was
there's
having
been
trouble.
a lot of questionable things, like, a lot of people have been banned from the Rapid Weaver community. Any post that I make is automatically in review, even though I've never said anything bad or anything like that. But yeah, it was, again, there's a lot of unknowns. Maybe the story will change once RWP 9 is going to ship. Maybe it'll magically still support Stacks 4. I don't know. But basically, as of right now, the reason is RWP 9, it changed the APIs for a way that would just made it incompatible for Stacks 4. And that combined with RealMac deciding to ship its own thing called Elements. They also wanted to automatically support all stacks out of the box with Elements. And yeah, that personally just made me not feel great about that. I threw up some red flags and be like, hey, that's not really cool. Please exclude my stacks from this automatic working with RWP 9 Elements. So yeah, there was a lot of drama for quite a long time, going back a couple months ago, but things have kind of calmed down. And yeah, if you want, I can send you a post that I have that has a full summary with links to various explanations and FAQs. It's on the Weaver Space. I think it's on the announcements on my community not too long ago.
Okay. Oh no, I'll just look for it. Don't worry about it.
Wait, no problem.
I just told her to stick with what she has because I didn't know, but
yeah, I wouldn't, she shouldn't worry. I think that, any work she's doing now will continue to work for a long time. And even with whatever new is coming, there'll be a very simple, hopefully simple and easy migration process. We want to make any sort of work or transition of migrating your existing projects to whatever new version it is as painless as possible. Okay. And all of my stacks, I will guarantee you won't have to pay for anything new to work in Stacks 5. It will all just work.
Okie dokie. Thank you.
No problem. Good question. Any other comments, questions, or anything else we can call it a day?
Make a list for Friday.
Yep. Everyone, I do have something really cool. I showed it off a little bit, I think last week, towards the end of the Hangout, but I'll try to polish it a little bit more and show it a little bit more this Friday. Okay. So cool, guys. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed today. There was a lot of cool new stuff going on, lots of exciting stuff, and I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys Friday. If not, we'll see you on the Weaver Space community. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.